My boyfriend's ex-wife contacted me and she describes him as a totally different person. Hi. I've been with my F25 boyfriend, M28, for 2 years. He's been married twice. He said both marriages ended because his partners were unfaithful. He portrayed his second ex-wife as being very stupid and that she would throw fits and tantrums all of the time. She didn't want to move in with him after they married and she was overall hard to be with, and the last straw was catching her cheat on him a second time while he was deployed overseas. Now, she tells me that he was emotionally and physically abusive. He would tell her he had thoughts of going out and finding girls to have sex with. He wouldn't let her move in with him because he was months out from being deployed and he didn't want her to be alone. He's told her she sucks in bed and that they needed a third partner so that he could have good sex again and she could learn and get better. Reddit, what do I do? She sent screenshots of their convos to back up her claims. What she is telling me is so vastly different than how he is now. We have a kid together and I don't know what I should do with this information and how I should proceed. Does he have trouble admitting mistake? Does he have a temper? Does he invalidate your feelings, say your feelings are wrong, to win an argument? Are his feelings and what he wants in his life the priority, or are both of you the priority? Each yes increases the odds that the ex is telling you the truth. Maybe Google articles about early warning signs. Here's one, in case it's helpful. Married and divorced 2 CE by 28. That's not a good sign. I'm not impressed by people who say every ex was crazy. Dude, the common denominator is you. I guess just keep your eyes wide open up. Is it a jilted ex and there are flags he was married twice already by 28? Married and divorced twice by 28 and proof of what he is really like. I personally say get your kid and get away from him before he starts that with you because he will, as it's in his nature. I'd normally not give a bitter ex the time of day. But the fact he's twice divorced by 28 speaks for itself. This guy reeks of red flags. Divorced twice by 28? My exes are all crazy. I'm sure the last one's fits and tantrums were actually just reactions to being abused. Usually abusive people are charming at first. If they were abusive from the get-go, they wouldn't be able to trap you in. 2 failed marriages at 28. Wow. But the past is the past. If he treats you and your kid well, maybe he has changed. Also, why did it take her 2 years to warn you? I would straight up tell him what she has said, give him a chance to explain. Is my partner ungrateful, or am I a snowflake? My partner, 27, and I, 35, have been together for over 8 years now, and we are expecting a child in the early summer of 2022. I work a 100% position, and some overtime, that pays okay, plus, she works a 70% position that pays okay, so it is natural that I pay rent, electricity, insurance and so on. It does not matter to me. She pays for some food and her own debt. We have always had an arrangement that I cook all the food, she is a bad cook, and that she cleans the house, except for the kitchen, I take it after cooking. Since she became pregnant, she has, of course, become more and more tired after her shifts at work. So I've done more and more of the housework. As things are now, I probably do 90% of the housework plus work plus cooking. Yesterday I finished a project earlier than expected, so I got a few hours off from work. She, on the other hand, had to work her regular shift and then go straight to a first aid course. So I went home, made dinner and delivered it at her job so she could eat proper food before the course. Then I went home to clean the bathroom and the living room. I was sitting on the couch when she came home from the course. And the first thing she does when she walks in the door is to notice that it has been washed. But instead of showing gratitude, she points out everything I had not done. With all the free time I had since I only worked 70% of the day today, told her that her response annoyed me, which made her more annoyed. It seems that I am not allowed to be annoyed and tired, since it is she who is pregnant, not me. Is it illegal for me to get tired and annoyed, since I am not pregnant? I do not expect to get a diploma or anything special just to do housework, but I expect at least not to be complained about everything I have not done. I understand that she is tired, hormonal and such, but I try my very best to do the best for her to be able to relax as much as possible. Is there anything I don't understand here, from her point of view? Ladies and gentlemen, help me understand her, I really try my best. Too long did not read. I do most of the housework, cooking and so on for me and my pregnant girlfriend, who I feel is ungrateful since she only points out everything I do wrong or do not do at all. I also have a pregnant girlfriend with our second kid. She is very emotional right now. She gets annoyed by little things and I do my best to accept it as she is pregnant, but like you we have limits. Although I will find it to her that she acknowledges she is emotional and really does try to hold things back. But it just is as it is. All this to say that you have a right to be annoyed. Like you said, you are human and it's not like you are doing this wrong. You did the right things. Just try to understand but set limits. Things do get better, but this is a difficult time for them. Yet again, there is a limit where you can set if they go too far. Just need to acknowledge this as more of a momentary thing. Being pregnant is not a license to be a complete asshole to your partner. You were right to express your feelings about her coming home and nitpicking, and you are right to have feelings and expect them to be validated by your partner. Wish I had someone doing all that for me when I was pregnant, cause all I did was sleep for the first 2 trimesters and I barely ate. I was never rude, but I always cried. Like if the sun shines the right way, or someone said thank you. What I'm saying is too many emotions and it's just irrational sometimes. You're doing a good job and no, you're not a snowflake. Whatever that even is. As far as housework goes, I noticed at some point in my wife's pregnancy that she had gone into some sort of nesting mode, where our home was never really ready for our baby. Accomplishments and housework were pushed aside in her mind in favor of what needs to be done next, and there was always something that needed to be done next. I don't know how many times I moved the furniture in the nursery around for her. Just tell her how it is making you feel. Don't be confrontational about it. Just tell her you're both in this together and making each other feel appreciated is important. I was on her side until you got to the part about her pointing out everything you did wrong. WTF. My boyfriend has recently decided to help more around the house. I came home to laundry and dishes done, etc. I work all day and my job is tiring. So to come home to this almost made me cry. Did he fold the towels like I would? No. Did I bring it up? No. Because when someone goes out of their way to help you out so you don't have to bear that burden, you thank them and tell them how much you appreciate them. Your girlfriend is way off the mark. Pregnant or not, you don't be an asshole when someone is trying to help you out. Especially when they're the ones doing the major haul of the work and housework to begin with. You're killing it and being what a partner should be. Your girlfriend should be more grateful. 27 and 19 is hella wrong. I'm currently pregnant and feel like absolute shit. Having to work my job while feeling like death 24/7 is hard. Feeling this bad is very fraying, and I'm definitely on edge purely because of how miserable I feel. However, you are 100% not in the wrong. Don't feel like you did anything bad here. She behaved poorly. Ultimately, if your relationship was good before this, I'd suggest you just prepare yourself for disagreements like this. Hopefully she sees when she is wrong and apologizes, but if she doesn't, I think just ignore it and move on with your day. And of course you should feel free to vent your frustrations. She may not be receptive depending on how sick or tired she feels, but oh well. Pregnancy is a tough time, but it will be over eventually. Good luck. I didn't read anything past the part where you said it's natural that you pay for rent, bills, insurance, etc. If it helps answer your question, at the very least she ought to be grateful that you're taking on something that's 100% not natural in the year of our Lord 2021. My partner and I split everything 50-50. And when times are tough for one, the other will always step up as breadwinner until things even out. So yes. If she's not even contributing at all and not saying thank you. Good luck, Charlie. After being cheated, how open should I be about it to mutual friends and her family? My wife, 27 female, and I, 29 male, split a few months ago, and the last straw for me was when she admitted to be actively cheating on me for months. I've been dealing with that quite well. But I'm really struggling to know how open I should be about her cheating when talking to mutual friends and, especially, her own family. I have become quite close to her parents, especially her father, since they've been very welcoming, and both of my parents have passed when I was young. Although I haven't had much contact with her family since the separation, I've noticed that she told them that I just broke up with her, and they seem quite puzzled by it and feel that I acted quite impulsively, without really thinking about the consequences. I'm absolutely certain that she didn't tell them about the cheating, and from what I heard, most cheating partners aren't open about it to their family, which seems normal. But this has put me in an uncomfortable position since I'm seen as the impulsive and inconsiderate person who ended a marriage out of the blue. I haven't really told anyone except for a couple of close friends about her cheating. I still feel a bit of shame about it, especially because she never apologized or showed guilt, regret, and instead tried to blame me for her cheating, which I didn't fall for. Any suggestions on how to deal with this? Redditors who ended a relationship after being cheated on. How open were you about the cheating? And how do you think you could have handled the situation better? If, when they ask, tell them. If they accuse you of wrongdoing, tell them. I'll never know why the betrayed defend their betrayers. If they reject the best of you, stop giving them the best of you. They are no longer your responsibility. Yeah, abso-fucking-lutely tell them why it ended. Don't sacrifice your character for someone as low as her. Just tell them if, when they express puzzlement to you, you owe her nothing, certainly not discretion about her indiscretion. Protecting her reputation is her husband's job. She fired you from that position. Tell the truth to her friends and family. If anyone asks, tell the truth. Cheaters have less right to privacy than you had a right to be able to trust. It's not your place to protect them from their decisions and ethics being known. Tell everyone that asks what happened exactly what happened. They should know they raised a piece of shit. Just tell the plain truth. No hate. No bile. Just the truth. To everyone. Everyone. It's important to make the record straight and also to warn her future partners via word of mouth. How do I deal with an incredibly generous gift incredibly early on? My 22M girlfriend, 23F, of 2 months comes from a pretty wealthy family. Her dad is very well paid at a company his father founded, so their family of 4, including parents, are sitting pretty. Before leaving yesterday morning for a wedding in Florida, her and I shopped for formal clothes. I'll be going to a different wedding with her later this month and noticed my current suit is too small, so we went suit shopping together. One of the first things she said was, "My parents say you don't need to worry about money," and she insisted. We haven't bought a suit, but a decent chunk of change was spent on dress shirts and a suit is being prepared for order. I'm just sitting here extremely appreciative, but at the same time I'm wondering if it's too much. I was thinking I'd get them an edible arrangement to thank them or something, but I wanted to see a different perspective on this situation. I mean, if she holds this kind of thing over you in an argument, then that's a red flag. Otherwise, maybe she just sees this as a serious relationship already and wants to do something nice for you. Are we talking about a $400 suit or a $3,000 suit? I'd throw this into the category of you're expected to dress, look a certain way and she's just footing the bill. If these are weddings she invited you to, I'd just say thank you and move on. When me and my husband first started dating, I was broke and in college. His parents paid for my flight, hotel, meals, hair and makeup so I could go to his sister's wedding. I said thank you. 10 years later they've never brought it up. Some people are just kind and generous with money and it's NBD. Never an edible arrangement. Never. They're taking you to the wedding, they want you looking sharp. This is not about you, it's about how they want their daughter to be perceived. There is only one thing that can be considered correct behavior in this scenario, and this is say yes and thank you and do your best to not make any kind of impression that could reflect negatively on them. Are you sure her dad specifically agreed to pay for your clothes, or does she just have an open budget credit card and is just spending daddy's money how she wants, on you in this case? When my husband and I first started dating I had come into a little bit of cash, like nothing major, but for a 25-year-old I had a good chunk of money to blow. I remember I got us a weekend getaway trip. For our first Xmas I bought him a MacBook, and his birthday I got us a trip to New Orleans for WrestleMania and stayed in a nice downtime boutique. I loved being able to do that all for him. I had the money at the time. We were young with no responsibility and we enjoyed it while it lasted. Now we are married with kids and don't have money like that to throw around. So I'd say, as long as this isn't a control thing, enjoy it for what it is and appreciate it without feeling indebted to her. She could be excited about the fact that the two of you have made future plans, even if they're a month away, together, and enjoy preparing for them. I agree with what others have said. If she holds it over you, then it's an issue. If not, then it's all good. A genuine verbal thank you or handwritten card should be good enough to show your appreciation.